Welcome to episode 21 of Fire Sale Franchise, and if you missed 20, you missed a big development. See, we've got undrafted rookie free agent Zach Pearman at quarterback. And now Keith Marshall is back this week, wasn't back last week, and the original idea, and I didn't mention this actually, probably should have done, the original idea was we had 1 week left. Hackenberg had just played terribly. 5 interceptions. It wasn't actually the interceptions that bothered me though, but it's just a good description of how bad that game was. And I figured with 1 game left until Keith Marshall came back, and with Keith Marshall, all balance will be restored to the universe. We can win through our run game and pass when we have to with Keith Marshall, although that's never really the way it works out. With Keith Marshall, it's always pass and then just blow a play wide open with Keith Marshall, pass a bunch more, blow another one wide open with Keith Marshall. He keeps the score even, but it's not a time of possession thing. He can just go all the way very easily. But anyway, so the idea was Zach Pearman gets a game. You know, I picked him up because he's fast, he's mobile. I thought it would be fun. He has decent accuracy actually, something I thought he didn't have. When we used him in the preseason, he didn't throw the ball that well, although I was also just looking to run for fun with him. The NFC Offensive Player of the Week in Week 13 was Zach Pearman. 17 for 27, 216 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. He did take 6 sacks, 13 carries for 90 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown and a fumble. Now most of the sacks he took were just really tackles that happened to still be behind the line of scrimmage because he was originally a passer, but he was always looking to run in those situations. Funny enough, our Week 13 opponent, William Golston, gets Defensive Player of the Week for 8 tackles and 3 sacks. But my argument for starting Aaron Murray all those games ago, well, it seems forever ago now, was that we go with a hot hand. And what's a hotter hand than NFC Offensive Player of the Week? We gotta stick with this. With Keith Marshall, who knows what we can do. The run game didn't work last week really, apart from with Zach Pearman. Now with Keith Marshall, we could be unstoppable. Now it's a good week to test how good this offense can be, because apparently this Packers defense is pretty good. So let's see what our 3rd starting quarterback of the season can get going with our lead runner. So on 2nd and 4, the Packers are looking to pass. Pressure coming off the left side. Rodgers steps up but gets sacked by Beardmohbox, so they turn the ball over to us with a punt, and this is our first play on offense, and Keith Marshall finds space to the right side. A nice block from Malcolm Mitchell allowed him to get out there, and you know once he's in open space he's going straight into the end zone untouched, and he gets there. 7 points to start the game on a 63-yard touchdown. That's the first time he's touched the ball since coming back from injury. So of course the Packers get the ball back, and on 1st and 10 looking to pass again, and Jordan is there again. That's his 2nd sack in about 4 plays. So on 3rd and inches, we have a chance to stop them, but Eddie Lacy, although we tackle him, manages to get that 1st down with a 1-yard gain, and they end up all the way down here on our goal line. 1st and goal. Jordan again in that backfield, stopping Eddie Lacy. 2nd and goal. We got another chance. They run again, but this time Eddie Lacy manages to weave his way through, gets into the end zone for a touchdown, ties it all up at 7. 2nd and 10. Zach Pearman rolls out to the right. He's looking to run, but then finds a wide open Brandon Coleman cutting across the field, and Coleman tears off for about 25 yards after the catch there. A huge play from the 2 there. Then 1st and goal on the 7-yard line. Pearman again looking to pass, sees nothing, runs with it, dives into the end zone, and gets his first rushing touchdown of his career with that play, and a nice one it was as well. So the Packers have the ball again, which means Jordan gets a sack again. He has been all over that offensive line, and that's his 15th sack of the season, his 3rd of the game. And this time they drop back again, and Jordan is there again. This is starting to become a cliche in this game. 4 tackles, 4 sacks, it's ridiculous. And then Pearman finds Michael Thomas there down the sideline. He just beat his man. It was cover 1, so there was only 1 safety there in the middle of the field, nobody near him, and he just walks it in for that 57-yard touchdown. And we're back on offense here on 3rd and 10. Zach Pearman rolls out to the right. He's got all the space in the world to run, goes out of bounds there after picking up the 1st down. Nice play from Pearman. But we had to give the ball back without getting any points, and then Jordan gets a 5th sack in the 1st half of this game. This is getting ridiculous. We're now in the 2nd half here. Pearman rolling out to the left, uses his man as a blocker there, goes down, gets inside the 10-yard line there with that run. Another nice run from Pearman, and then 3rd and goal, looks for a pass and actually doesn't get it there. Almost kind of could have been an interception. Lucky that it wasn't. And Keith Marshall tears off again. Another nice run from him. He's had a couple in this game. And then on 3rd and 3, looking for a 1st down here. Pressure coming from the left side, rolls out to the right, doesn't get the ball off in time to Keith Marshall. Had the 1st down there if he'd thrown it a little bit quicker. Instead, we got to go for a field goal, which we do get. 27 points to 7. And another sack on Aaron Rodgers there. This time, David Onyemata getting his sack. And on 3rd and 22. We got a pretty good chance here of making them punt, but there's no pressure on Rodgers whatsoever. He finds Jordy Nelson downfield. He makes Derek Milner miss. Now Jordy Nelson is on our 40-yard line after 3rd and 22. So Aaron Rodgers back to pass, throws it up, but this time Ekpre Olumu comes down with it. I think that's his 4th interception in maybe as many games. He has incredibly stepped up this later half of the season. Ekpre Olumu, without a doubt, one of the best players on our defense at the moment. And then there again, the final play of the game, Dion Jordan ties the all-time record for sacks in a game. Anybody want to take any guesses who's getting Defensive Player of the Week? I got one suggestion. So Zach Pearman played really well again. 65 completion percentage, throwing 1 touchdown. And considering how many interceptions our quarterback's been throwing recently, to be interceptionless 2 weeks in a row is really something. Rushing, Keith Marshall destroyed it, 120 yards, 7 yards per carry. Zach Pearman right behind him with 68 yards, both of them getting a touchdown. Malcolm Mitchell had 3 catches, but for only 6 yards. Brennan Coleman, 3 for 49. Keith Marshall had a couple, Rico Gathers had a couple, Aaron Weatherington had a couple, Michael Thomas had a huge one for 57. Dion Jordan, that is insane. That is an NFL record. Well, it's not a record, it's an NFL tied record that's never been tied before. 7 sacks in a single game. David Onyemata had one as well, Trey Flowers had one as well, but Dion Jordan had 7. I mean, for his final one, I wasn't even controlling. He dominated the right side of the line. If Ekpre Olumu as well with another interception, he, I think by far now leads the team in interceptions. And to think some of you were calling for him to be dropped. Actually, you didn't call for him to be dropped. I think you just said we need a new one to replace him, which is still a fair comment, of course, but Ekpre Olumu, that's my boy right there, and he's gonna keep playing well for us. He's done it so far. He was slow to start. He had a pretty bad start to the season, but now he's had 3 interceptions in the last 4 or 5 games or so, which isn't bad at all. So one player has regressed. Is that because Keith Marshall's back in the lineup and he's losing injury? And that's exactly what it is. So, to what everybody's been waiting for, this 7th round right guard. He had B impact block, B minus run block. What are we gonna get here with the final one? It's a C+. Wow. But it's a 7th round graded 7th rounder. You can't complain about that. So let's see the other Bs. Janikowski. Ooh, look at that. That's just as exciting right there. Hey, we got a clean 4th rounder right there. There we go, week 14, no surprise whatsoever. Dion Jordan, 8 tackles, 7 sacks. Justin Houston, the other player there, 8 tackles, 3 sacks. So you can see he deserved to be there. So we just played one NFC North team. We got another one to play, this time away. We're going to the Bears, who were 3-10, and now, I mean, we could think about some strategic tanking right here. So, well, that would put us level with the Panthers if they won their game. But you know what I'm thinking right now is the Bears currently have the 1st overall pick. And now who we want to have the 1st overall pick are the Texans. Now, if we lose, the Bears win a game, they go 4-10. Maybe the Texans lose, go 4-10 as well. And yeah, you never know. But we've now got the 5th overall pick from the Texans as well. We really need to get them start losing some more games. I mean, they are on a 2-game losing streak, which is great. But everyone around them's on a big old losing streak. But anyway, now it's time to play the Bears. Coming off an insane defensive week, pretty good offensively as well. Pearman doing a good job, and let's see what we can get going. So 3rd and 2 to start off the game, and Dion Jordan picks up where he left off last week, tackling the rookie running back a dive for a loss. And on our first play on offense, Pearman drops back to pass and gets sacked. There was nothing there for him. Eddie Goldman in on the sack, setting up a pretty difficult 2nd and 18, but Pearman has plenty of time in the pocket, finds his man downfield for the 1st down, a nice throw there. A couple of plays later, 2nd and 10, he looks to roll out to the left, tries to get around the outside of this defensive player, doesn't quite get there, fumbles the ball. Ball luckily goes out of bounds. That's a 1-yard pickup. So, next play again, rolls out to the right this time. This time's got plenty of space to run. He's looking for that 1st down marker, dives for it, gets it, but fumbles the ball again, even though I would argue that was probably out of bounds. This time back to pass. This time throws it up for Coleman, who comes down with it. Coleman making so many good plays late in the season. And then we find ourselves on 3rd and 5. We're going for a screen here, and this has got to be one of the worst plays I've ever seen. Absolutely no idea why Foster would catch it like that. So Adai there gets a chance when they get the ball back, and he just absolutely tears us apart. A huge hold on the middle there. D. Milliner gonna catch him on the 5-yard line, but our reputation is permanently damaged with that. And then on 1st and goal, he manages to find Kevin White there for the touchdown pass. And you know Keith Marshall, he doesn't like to be outdone, so on a counter here, he breaks it big time. But you know when Keith Marshall gets in the open field, he is not being caught by anybody, and Keith Marshall takes it all the way for the touchdown on that play. Not what we were expecting, but always happy to see it happen. So tied 7 apiece, the Bears run a nice play action that catches most of us out, and then a big completion downfield, and nobody is catching the receiver. Jameson Nixon is going to do his best, and by the time he does catch him, he pushes him into the end zone pretty much. A broken tackle right at the end there. 63-yard touchdown for the Bears. We're now down 14-7 again. And on 3rd and 4, Pearman looks to pick up the first down with his legs and slides at the end there. He's a slider now. Doesn't slide every time, but he does when he has to. 2nd and 7 again, and he does try and slide there. You can see him move backwards, but he just doesn't get into the position quick enough. Fumbles the ball there. It's recovered by the Bears, so we're down 14-7. 2 minutes left in the first half. But Dion Jordan there, nice sack. That's his 20th sack of the season. We've got ourselves a superstar here, and we have the ball back. 27 seconds left to play. Completion to Coleman. He gets out of bounds. Nice play there. 23 seconds left to play. Again, dropping back to pass. Completion to Malcolm Mitchell, who doesn't get out of bounds, but we've got a timeout, which we take. Back to pass again. Pearman, I don't know what he's doing, but he's getting through a lot of contact there. Gets himself downfield again. Another timeout taken. Drops back to pass. Final attempt. Throws one up for Tajae Sharp, who could have had that. Could have been a touchdown, but the ball is dropped. 5 seconds. So we had to settle for the field goal, which isn't a problem because we get the ball back to start the second half. And Marquise Goodwin, who's recently come back from injury, is here to take it back. And he gets a nice return there down the sideline. Does get pushed out of bounds, but takes it all the way to the 41. And on the first play here, Pearman launches it upfield here for Brandon Coleman, who doesn't come down with it. Almost had it. That would have been a great start to the second half. Instead, Pearman here rolls out to the right side again, makes a man miss, and keeps going. This man could scramble an egg in a cold pan, but we do have to go for the field goal here, but it takes us to 13-14, so 1 point down, plenty of time left to play. What's not going to help us is this, people just walking past Adai. I don't know what people are trying to do, but Jameson Nixon, Ekpreolumu, probably going to catch him here right at the end on the 6-yard line, so he makes a huge gain again. We do manage to tackle him again, and on 3rd and goal, not a chance. Kevin Pierre-Louis stops that one. Don't even try it. So, ball back. Nicely executed screen here to the wide receiver. Malcolm Mitchell can go downfield. Takes it inside the 25-yard line there. Really nice play from everybody. And on 3rd and 4, Pearman finds Coleman on a quick slant there for the touchdown. And that puts us ahead for the first time in this game. And on 4th and 2, a chance to stop them, and we don't. We let Jeremy Langford run for the first down there. And again, they're running on us on 3rd and 4. This time we do stop them, and we make him go for the field goal, but it's still going to give them the lead at 20-19. If only we hadn't missed the extra point from the touchdown we just scored. And what you saw there was a face mask. Now, there's no button to press to commit a face mask, so I don't really know why that happened when it was an easy tackle to make, but basically it gives us just 1 minute left in the 4th quarter to try and score some points here. 52 seconds left. Pearman back to pass, finds Coleman here on a corner route, and Coleman manages to get out of bounds as well. 47 seconds left. Pearman, of course, back to pass again, back to Coleman again, back out of bounds again. 42 seconds left. Pearman back, finds Mitchell, out of bounds, 38 seconds left, pretty much in field goal range here now. We used one play to get into field goal range, accidentally went into hurry up rather than spike, and now we've got to get this ball and spike it. We're getting 2 seconds left, 1 second left, we're not going to get lined up, and we run out of time. I can't believe that game finished that way. I wanted to spike it the play before, but I ended up getting myself in hurry-up offense, so I had to run another play. Then I tried to spike it. I was just trying to throw it away. I was hoping it would go incomplete. I got confused in the moment, and we lose by 1 point to the Bears. Now, the worst part of all of this is that I saw during the game, one of the stats it gave was the Bears are worst in the league in points allowed, and we scored 19 against them. At least we can say Zach Pearman played pretty well. 68% completions, 209 yards for touchdown, no interceptions, which is great. Keith Marshall 105 yards, Zach Pearman 80 yards. Now, he did fumble it a bunch. One of those fumbles was like an out of bounds kind of one, which I really would have liked to have had it overturned. I bet if I would have challenged it, it wouldn't have been called a fumble. The other two were a bit fairer, so I think if we're going to keep using him like this, we'll have to upgrade his carrying when we get some XP for him. Receiving, Brandon Coleman had another great day. Outside of that, you know, whatever. DJ Foster had one terrible screen and we kind of forgot about him after that. Tackles for loss, there were a few around there. There are only 2 sacks. Trey Flowers and Dion Jordan. Dion Jordan getting his 20th sack of the season. 3 games left. He gets 2 sacks, well, 2.5 sacks. That's tied for all-time best. He just had a late season explosion. He didn't have 10 sacks by 8 games and now has got 20 with 3 left. So Pearman has some spare XP. Now I'm going to assume his carrying will be taken down after this. Carrying's really cheap. We'll give him 70 carrying. Let's give him something else useful. Oh. Deep accuracy, deep accuracy, deep accuracy. Why not? That looks pretty good there. I didn't mean to spend some of this XP. I kind of forgot about what I knew about the free agency stuff, which obviously is irrelevant because I'm not really looking in free agency. Trade negotiation, probably should have had that from the start. I wonder if we had enough XP for that. Expert scouting, definitely. I should have bought that ages ago. Kind of annoyed that I forgot about it. Madden 16, when I had a Raiders franchise, was one of the first things, one of the only things I bought and was super useful. This right now isn't really useful to us because we can re-sign everyone because there's no one that could even possibly think they're too good for the team. Apart from maybe this would have kept down Kevin Pierre-Lewis's demands, but they weren't crazy whatsoever. And then, let's see, we've got some stuff here to think about. Training boosts, I'm not really worried about. However, weekly goal XP, why not? We've got a whole bunch of XP, so we're going to buy those things. So those scout points aren't effective immediately, so they'll be there next week. So let's just use these now. And that's all of our points used up for this one. And we found absolutely nobody. One player has regressed. We're not surprised about that one, but we've already pushed him up as well. So Zach Pearman lost 1 from his carrying, but we already upped that to 70, so it's not an issue. So that's the upgrade there, kicking in with 200 scout points. We're going to be playing the Seattle Seahawks, so that's going to be a bit of a... Well, we host them, but still, it's going to be a tough one. They're 11-3. We're 10-4. We just lost to the Bears. 2 games left. I thought we had 3 games left. 2 games left. If Dion Jordan gets a sack a game, he'll have 22 sacks and look incredible. If he doesn't get a sack again, he'll have 20 sacks and still look pretty incredible. But that does it with this episode, episode 21. The conclusion of all that will happen next week, episode 22, as the season will be finished. Obviously, we won't be playing the playoffs in episode 22, but we will be able to see how early our picks have come. Fingers crossed for those Texans.